Felt you were caught between a rock and a hard place. About a week ago this past Sunday, I purchased this watch, and I put up a video on it, you can see it. And I said how much I absolutely love the watch. No sooner did I say that, than this button here, for those of you who cannot see, it is the 2 o'clock button. You have a 2, 4, 6, and an, 2, 4, 8, and a 10 o'clock button. There are 4 of them. The 2 o'clock button was starting to stick. You could still push it, but it took a little bit extra force, and the button would not return on the spring to its normal position. So, Friday, a week ago tomorrow actually, I went ahead and returned it for a replacement. Okay? I'm wearing that replacement right now. So guess what? This time, every single button except the talking button is sticking. At least I think. Let me see. Okay. Okay, so the 8 o'clock and the 10 o'clock buttons are sticking. And like I said, this is my second watch. I was prepared because, as you can see here, for those of you who cannot see, the review is 2 stars out of 5, 35 reviews. Pretty much everybody and their sister bashed this thing for various reasons. The most common one being the band was going to go out. I purchased the extended warranty preparing for the band to be defective. I was not prepared for the buttons to be defective. Well, to be defective, I guess, might be a bit of a stretch. I mean, yes, they are defective, but to me, defective means that they don't work at all. In this instance, they still work, but it's almost like they're becoming touch-sensitive or extra pressure when they're not designed to be that way. They're designed to return to their neutral position, and they're not. There's a reason that I got this watch in the first place. Well, 2 reasons. 1, I love the convenience of having 4 alarms. 2, this is an interim watch as a replacement for the atomic one. I have an analog atomic, which I'll do a review of soon. And you're probably wondering, well, why would I want to replace it if that's still perfectly working? For a while, it wasn't. Of course, the instant I get this watch, it decides to behave itself again. Go figure. And I'll explain more detail what's going on with that one when I review it. But the reason I titled this video "Caught Between a Rock and a Hard Place" was that, like I said, this is an interim watch. The actual replacement I have in mind is this. And a couple of things that I really like about this one are it's a global watch. Well, what does that mean? You can see here the word atomic. It's basically radio controlled. But it's not just radio controlled for the United States. In fact, one of the menu options is in here, and all these watches are pretty much the same, the way they're laid out. So I know the menu system by heart. So if it sounds like I'm a bit of an aficionado, well, that's kind of because I am. I've been wearing watches every day since I was 6. Anyway, one of the menu options in here, if you press your 4 o'clock button, it's going to say Global Signal Selection only when you visit these countries. And the country selection is as follows. You've got all 4 of the U.S. major time zones, so Pacific, Mountain, Central, and Eastern, but you also have UK, Germany, and Japan. And I'd like to do some world traveling one of these days, so I think having something like this would be really nice. Now, for those of you who have seen my watch video, my 2009 video on the first Science Museum talking atomic watch I have, that also has the option of global signal selection. There are 2 very serious problems with that watch right now, though. Well, actually, the second one's more serious than the first. The first is that it simply needs a new battery. No problem there. The only problem is because it's an analog and there's no crown to set the hands manually, you're going to have to stop the hands the instant the battery gets in there, which means it's basically, I don't know, it just seems like it's more trouble than it's worth. I mean, versus having a digital. So put the battery in, you have to stop the hands, you have to move the hands to 12 o'clock, and then restart the watch. Whereas with this one, all you have to do is set the time zone because it's a digital. But that one has global signal selection, so the problem, number 1, battery is low. Number 2, though, the band has snapped, and unfortunately, when that band snaps, the way the watch is designed, it's got the band infused into the watch itself, so there's no way to fix it. So that's basically where my where the other one that I have came into play. There was a replacement for that. But I did miss having the ability to have the global signal, because the new one is essentially what I call a domestic. It's not a global, it's strictly a domestic. In other words, the only signal it can pick up is for the US only. Now, of course, you can use it as a manual setting watch overseas, but given that I've been wearing atomic watches and have had atomic clocks for over 10 years now, I've become kind of used to that precision, and I'd hate to lose it. But this, I'm sorry, I got off on a major tangent here. Global signal selection. This also has a backlight. And the beautiful part is, I have some usable vision. And having a backlight in low light places really helps me, whether it be with my Game Boy or just a backlit screen in general. It's really nice. And yes, for those of you wondering, yes, I did trace the H on Thursday. Anyway, so this has a backlight, and the nice thing about that is that if you're in an area where having an audible report would be disturbing to others, I think that's a really nice way to go. So those are the two things that have attracted me to this watch, and part of me wants to just go ahead and get a prepaid credit card and go ahead and buy it. The other wants to wait, but I'm really chomping at the bit. But that's for down the road. Right now, the big decision I want to know that I'm trying to make is, should I go ahead and return this? I mean, overall, it's still working. The buttons are sticking, yes, but the buttons are not unresponsive. And I do have a 2-year warranty on this. And to be truthful, the 4 alarms, they do have their place. I've got one to wake up in the morning. I've got one in the evening to remind myself of certain events. I've got one in the middle of the day to remind myself of certain events. And it's just nice having that flexibility. But the fact that this is, in fact, the second one, and like I said, these 2-star ratings are due to the band, and a lot of people are purchasing this watch that are fully sighted, and they think, you know, it'd be cool to have a talking watch, but they don't realize that a talking watch means a talking watch designed for the blind. They don't realize that if you want a talking watch, you better be comfortable with it talking all the time. There's one review in here that says it won't shut up, but no. So basically, I'm really up in the air. I feel like if I were to return it, then I would immediately miss the convenience of having 4 alarms. For those of you who saw the video on this watch, you saw that it itself was a replacement for another one that I have. If I had just been able to get it talking again, the other one talking again, and put the battery in, then I wouldn't have even gotten this one. I wouldn't have. And it's like a love-hate relationship. I mean, I like the 4 alarms. I hate the fact that this is the second one and it's already started to go wonky on me. But what do you guys think? Should I return it? Again, it's primarily an interim for this. But again, of course, as soon as I got this one, then the analog domestic talking atomic decided to work. And for those of you who are wondering what I'm talking about, I'll do a review on that soon. But what do you think? Thank you for watching. Comments are welcome, and have a nice day.